All right, this part 2, y'all. We back. Let's go. Hit the like and subscribe button so I ain't gotta even pause and tell y'all. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to grow this channel. We need 100,000. Dr. Hood, H19D. You know, some people looking up Dr. Hood, Hood. Nah, it's H19D. Dr. Hood. We in the building. Everybody needs to know that. I'm gonna try to get a few videos out here and to get that logo going. You see that H19D logo? Real simple logo. You know, we didn't want nothing extravagant. We wanted something very powerful, meaningful, and easy to distinguish. You know, it's not like any other. Okay, so let's go.
As they had various clientele to work with as well.
Okay. Now, the father is currently on parole, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Do you know whether
He did his time? He's not. Is he currently in jail? That should be the question. Okay, not is he currently on parole. If he's on parole, that means that he's under supervision. That, you know, he's probably be monitored a lot, so he might not be doing stupid shit. He might be passing these UAs that you're saying he's not passing. Because I know that parole, they don't play. Okay? I don't know where he is. I don't know the extent that, you know, of his crime. And a lot of times people go to jail for marijuana. Okay? So let's not get into this pissing match.
or not he is drug testing for parole?
I had last spoke with them at the end of January, and all I was able to, the only information I was able to receive was that he was compliant. I have since tried to reach out again to his.
That's it. That's all you need to know, that he was compliant.
Parole officer, but I have been unsuccessful in getting any further information from her.
Was there a reason you weren't given any information?
No, sir. I had asked her for an update and how his progress was, and she told me that all she could tell me was that he was compliant.
Why was that all she could tell you? Was there a release in place to release the information?
There is a release in place, but I believe it is parole's own protocol and stuff too about how much information they can release.
And so that's all you needed to know. You know, what are we talking about here? Okay, that's all you need to know right there, is that he's compliant. That's what that means. If anybody's ever been on parole or know somebody that's been on parole.
And that's all she said she was able to let me know.
Yeah. Has the father or his attorney provided you with any of those drug tests to show you what the results were?
No, sir, I have not received any.
So you don't know what the results were, nor do you know when they were given.
That is correct.
But let alone the mother test positive. Okay? You know, I mean, I know we're going to put the dad, you know, under the microscope. We already know, you know, how we do over here at Dr. Hood. We hold men accountable because it's his fault that he got himself in this situation. You don't just run around sticking your dick in anybody. It's not logical. It's not the smart thing to do. It's not the strategic thing to do. You know, there's nothing morally, you know, that, I mean, come on. We can't live in these rap videos. You know, we hear these rap videos, you know, all these guys, they want to do this and do that. But in reality, this is the type of stuff that goes on that we don't talk about. Okay?
Now, with regard to the father's work, there was I guess the majority of this case, he was claiming that he was working with his father, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what was he doing with his father, do you recall?
I believe it was a mechanic shop that was owned by his father, and he would assist with the different vehicles that would come into that shop.
Okay. And other than, again, the father's own statements. Have you received anything to verify that?
I received some invoices from him, and then here recently, he did provide a note from his employer, and I was able to get in contact with that employer. It is not his father, but another man that works in the shop. Mr. Escobedo had explained to me it's two shops very close to one another, one's in the front and the back, and that employer did verify that Mr. Escobedo was working there and worked up to about 30 hours or so a week.
Right. So Escobedo, you know, he's doing his thing. He is doing his thing. Okay? He's working. He's complying with his parole. Okay? And you know, evidently he got himself in a situation to where he's locked up. And there's no excuse for that. But evidence shows that the mother couldn't handle the shit. She couldn't. And that's why I advocate for a lot of dads to step up, because, you know, it's far too many situations where the mother just throws up her hands and just says, you know, I've had enough. I can't handle this. Okay? And then, you know, we talk about all this equality and all of this shit, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, if you don't want that on your shoulders, the best thing for you to do is to be cooperative with a man, and so that he can help you out and not be combative and, you know what I'm saying, challenging every fucking thing he says. Okay? Those are some tips if you can't handle it. Or don't have kids at all. But in this situation, it's too late. In most situations, it's too late. I'm showing these videos to my family. I want my family to dig in these. I'm gonna send all of these. I'm gonna be spamming. They're gonna be like, man, this guy is spamming my text messages. I'll be sending all these videos to them so they can hear me talk shit. They can get a little glimpse of this.
Depending on how he was feeling and his medication and everything like that.
Okay. And what medication are you referring to?
I do recall that he was seeing the doctor due to, I believe it was issues either with his kidney or his liver, and I believe he was on medications for that, as he had previously reported, but I do not recall what medications they were. I do also know he had reported that since getting COVID, he had been dizzy and was having symptoms of different things, but I don't recall the exact ones.
Yeah, man, get well, take care of that health. You know, like I said, we brought these kids into the world, so it's our responsibility to fight to stay alive. I'm not even gonna say in shape. You know, this isn't a damn fitness channel, okay? But to stay alive. So whatever it is, go take a walk. Whatever it is, stay healthy, my friends.
Okay. Now, at this point, do you know where Mr. Escobedo is living?
No, sir, I do not know the exact location. It has been reported that he was staying with his father. It has also been reported he's staying with an alleged girlfriend and with his sister, so I'm not sure of the exact location.
So I don't know why they're tracking this guy down like this, and you know, maybe this is the information that he's telling them, right? Maybe they're calling him and he's venting to this lady, and that's the information that he's giving up. Oh, I live with my girlfriend, or I'm staying with my dad, or I'm doing, you know. Or maybe that's what he's giving the parole. Okay? So, if you're in this situation, or you know you're going to be going through this situation, you need to have that straight. It can't be all of this, because you see how they looking at it. It ain't looking good for either one of these parents. And they got foster parents on deck watching the whole shit. They're sitting there watching the whole shit.
Where he resides.
Now, where his dad told you that he resided?
Mr. Escobedo had previously stated that he was residing with his father.
Did you check with the father?
Yes, sir. I did speak with his father, and the father is the one who stated to me that Mr. Escobedo did stay with him and then also stayed with a girlfriend.
And do you know who the girlfriend is?
My knowledge is that her name is Ana Rojas.
And do you know where that residence is located at?
I do not know where her residence is.
Okay.
I don't really understand. I mean, see, they are. What dude's doing in the questions that he's asking is helping solidify the fact that this guy doesn't have stable housing, and they're looking for the best place for this kid, and neither one of these parents are giving any type of ammo to fight. You don't know where it is. You don't know this. You don't know this. You don't know that. Who is this? You know. And they got the foster parent, got a house and everything. Backyard, just cut the grass yesterday. You know. Fixed the room up for the kid. You know, they got a nice bookshelf and everything up in the kid's room. You know, so what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do?
Did your father allow you to go in and see his home?
I did not go in and see his home. I do know that the department had reached out to Mr. Escobedo to schedule home visits, but was unsuccessful in seeing the residence where he's currently residing.
And why was the department unsuccessful?
We did reach out and attempt to schedule those visits, but they were not confirmed to be able to do so.
I guess you were reaching out to the father by a phone.
Yes, sir. By phone or text to schedule an appointment to see the residents, and then it was never able to get scheduled.
See, the father, you know, and he gave me the vibes like, because right now the game is over, man. Okay? When you get up in this situation right here, all the little games and the freelancing and running around, busting jugs, busting moves, that shit is over with, fam. You got your kids in this deep situation. You don't even want to let these guys come visit a house or whatever where you're supposed to be staying, and I don't know if that's because she's gonna just go tell your parole, okay, yeah, he's living here, he's living there, you know, and so you're playing it like that, or you don't want parole coming over there. I get it. Trust me, I get it. Okay? But when we're talking about kids involved and emergency removals and things of that nature, we just need more. We need more. We need more participation out of you. Even if you got to go rent a little ass spot or something, or get a roommate or something. You know, when you guys are both splitting the rent, he's never really there. So when the inspection people come, you know, it's looking nice around there. Okay? Rather than not let them come see nothing at all. It's not a good look for you, you know, that's all. Or it's already a bad look for this guy. This shit's old. Right? This has already been resolved. These people have moved on or whatever, you know, and either the things worked out for them or didn't work out. Most important, if it worked out for the child.
Now, would assume when you're when you're sending text messages, those are probably going to be received at some point. Do you have any reason to believe he was not receiving those messages?
No, sir, I do not have any reason to believe he was not.
And were you messaging him through the same number you had used throughout the case?
Yes, sir. To my knowledge, the department was using the same number that.
Right. So they, you see, and now he's looking like damn, because he's looking at these people like they snitches, and if this was the streets, they would be, because they telling every move, everything. But this is the law. This is the way this works, man. These people, that's their job to report the progress in whatever you're doing and whatever you're telling them or not telling them.
The most current number that we do have for Mr. Escobedo.
Did you leave any voicemails, do you recall?
Here recently, I do not recall. I do not recall if voicemails were left. I'm sorry.
But you never received a call back response from Mr. Escobedo?
The department did not receive one to schedule a visit.
Ain't looking good.
Now, with the grandmother, Miss Jamie Saldivar, has the department been in to see her home?
Yes, sir.
And do you know who all is living in that home?
To my knowledge, it is Miss Saldivar.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we try to mute it for different shit.
I would ask the court to take judicial notice of the home study filed on this on the grandmother, Miss Jamie Saldivar.
Any objections, Mr. Rock?
No objections.
Ms. Mendoza?
No objection.
Ms. Martinez?
No objection.
I'll take notice of the home study that is on file as of March 26, 2022 at 4:34 p.m.
Thank you, Judge.
So it's looking like the child might be able to go with the grandmother.
I'm looking into this home study.
Yes, sir, that is correct.
I mean, there were quite a few concerns raised in the home study, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, hold up.
Did the department give Ms. Saldivar an opportunity to try and remedy some of the problems that were found there?
Yes, sir.
What came of that?
She was due to one of the concerns listed in the home study of her falling asleep while the assessor was there.
Whoa. See, we're learning. Everything was cool. And one of the things, she's falling asleep. Maybe she was tired. I don't know. I mean, of course, you got to be somebody that's going to be awake. I don't know what her drug history is. I don't know if they could even violate her privacy and find that out because she hasn't been criminally convicted of anything regarding drugs, or medical, it could be some medical issues. But, if this is your situation and you're setting up a home steady and it is a parent or another relative, make sure they can stay awake.
She had indicated that it was due to her high blood pressure, blood sugar. And so the department did ask her to provide documentation from medical professional showing that that would not impact her or her ability to care for the child. She did provide 2 notes and they were not sufficient. So then she was asked to provide a 3rd, and she did provide that stating from the doctor that it would not impair her to provide for the child.
Can you tell me why the first 2 notes were not sufficient?
Yes, sir. They did appear to have medical jargon on them that did not specifically state whether or not her current diagnosis would impair or not impair her.
Right.
It was just stating what she was working on, whether I believe it was blood pressure, but it had medical jargon that was not understood by the department.
So it was dealing with blood pressure, correct?
I'm sorry, I believe so, yes.
Are you certain of that as opposed to blood sugars?
I am not certain, but no, I'm not certain.
What were some of the other concerns raised in the homestead?
Some other concerns were that Ms. Saldivar does not have a current valid driver's license. This has been an ongoing concern.
So she doesn't have a driver's license. So she needs to have a car too, y'all. Whoever you're dealing with, whoever the homesteady, she needs to have a driver's license, apparently. Me, I don't see why that's important. Of course, I guess you want the kids, you know what I'm saying? And something happened, whatever. Yeah, I don't think, if you got to rush them to the hospital, I could see, you needing a driver's license with a car and everything. But if we're not talking about that, I think public transportation or walking or, biking, it's healthy. It's healthy. Let's listen more and see why this is so relevant.
As it has been something she's reported to us since the beginning of the case. And she has stated that she was working towards getting that driver's license. A reason it is a concern is she does have previous charges or tickets relating to driving without a valid license. And so that would be an ongoing concern if the child were to be placed in the home. And she has reported that she does still continue to drive without a valid license. The department did ask.
See, when you're talking to these people, they're jotting everything down. I think, that, and that's the most, because when you're talking about your babies, and then you got all these fucking people that's not even related, that's in your business, okay? So you got to watch what you say. You reported driving without a license. I don't know if she baited you. You said you don't have a valid one. She probably asked you a couple questions, and it lied on yourself. I mean, you told on yourself. You told on yourself. It's probably real simple. Oh yeah. Oh, how did you get there? Oh, I drove them there. Oh, okay. Thought you didn't have a license. Oh, and that's huge, because if the child gets placed in this home and you don't even have a license, but you're still driving, let's say you get pulled over and you repeat the amount of time, and now you had to go sit down and do some jail time. Okay? And this is the type of mother that raised this father that would, I'm not going to attack his criminal history, but that will deal with a woman that can't even get good coverage and can't comply, and all these other drug problems and stuff, and losing the kids anyway. Okay? Our job as fathers are to be there and provide and protect and to keep yourself out of shit. But if you do get into some shit, the least you can do is to vet properly and to find a woman that could handle this shit. Let's say you did die or something. Let's see a tragic event. A very tragic event could happen. Okay? To where you're killed or whatever. And, she needs to be strong enough. You need to know that before you step over that line, you need to know if this woman is good enough to do this.
Ask her to provide additional people that she could use as transportation, and she did. The ongoing concern too is that she continues to report that she is going to obtain this, and over the course of this case has yet to do so.
So she told you something that she was going to do, and because she didn't do it, she shouldn't have never told you she was going to do it. Because that's what I'm getting out of this.
And I part of the reason for that concern is Gio's a young child that's going to need to be transported to and from school and doctor's visits and things of that sort, correct?
Yes, sir. He's a 6-year-old that still requires a booster seat, and he is still attending school and counseling and various activities. So, yes, sir.
That I get that, but still, they got public transportation for all of that. I see 6-year-olds on buses, not alone, okay? But I see 6-year-olds on buses.
Is there any other issue with her criminal history?
Yes, sir. There was a previous concern due to one of her charges that was a concern for the department that did require a kinship safety evaluation, a public lewdness charge that we did speak with Ms. Saldivar about, and why it was a concern that the department had.
Was there also mention, and I believe this was a self-report from Ms. Saldivar, that she had at least a car accident involving alcohol in the past, was that correct?
Yes, sir, I do recall.
Not good. An accident involving it. So, it seemed like mom is kind of, living this video game life too. Okay. And for these guys to be clearly in their 30s, I would guess, maybe early 40s. I believe they in their 30s. She got it, but the mom got to be at least 50, 60 years old. And she's still living this video game type of life. Okay? It's Dr. Hood, man. I'm going to bring you that raw.
Oh, that's correct.
Okay. And what was the state of Ms. Saldivar's income?
To my knowledge, she reported that she was receiving some disability, but was not currently working. I do recall that she reported maybe looking for a job if needed, but was not currently working and was receiving disability.
Okay. And were there also some frequent visitors to the home that were not mentioned that the department subsequently found out about?
Yes, sir. There was some inconsistencies with what was mentioned and what had been observed and told. It had, during an unannounced visit to the home, a man later that reported to be Mrs. Saldivar's brother was at the home and reported himself to be a visitor. When this was discussed with Ms. Saldivar, she had reported that she would not consider him a frequent visitor. Also in the home study, it did report that Mr. Escobedo's father, Mr. Stephen Moran, was present at the time of the home study, but on various occasions had also been reported that he was not a frequent visitor and that they were just in communication.
I don't understand why, unless they got like criminal history. You see what's going on. They don't even want other family members involved. They don't even want them to be coming a visitor. Like, what are we talking about here? Uncles and grandpas, and like, what are we talking about? Unless they got some type of history to that they can't be around children. What? I don't see the significance of that. And they getting in here and they tearing this family apart. That's already torn the fuck apart, it looks like. But, this could be you one day.
Via phone call, but he was present during the home study. And in the home study, I do believe, too, he was also referred as a visitor.
Okay. And is there not another person living in the home with Ms. Saldivar?
Mr. Christian Escobedo, Ms. Saldivar's son.
Okay. Does he have a driver's license?
To my knowledge, I do not believe he does.
Okay. So at this point, there's no...
To my knowledge, like, what's the knowledge? Like, what is the knowledge?
No one in the home, should there be an emergency or something like that, there's no one in the home that could legally drive Giovanni up to the place there, correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
And Ms. Saldivar's income, was that going to be sufficient?
Mom's over here eating and shit. This is disturbing, man. This is disturbing. Mom is over here eating and shit in the background, acting like she's writing shit down. You know, and they just watching. They watching. They looking at your demeanor. The judge is watching. Because she has to make a judgment. She has an important decision to make in this case.
To care for another person in the home.
To my knowledge, it would not be, sir. I do recall that she had mentioned her son, Christian, would be willing to help as well. There were family members that would be willing to contribute, but her income alone, I do not believe would be sufficient enough.
It ain't looking good, but you add it with the dads. I didn't hear them say, you know, add the income with the dad's income. Okay?
That's all I have at the moment. Judge, I'll pass the witness.
Mr. Wright, redirect?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Melodic, did you ask the mother and the father in this case, Ms. Dowd and Mr. Escobedo, to drug screen on a monthly basis?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Okay. And there was a question about there being no services recommended by ADAC on the drug assessment. Did they mostly go off of self-report?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. There is a referral sent in with information, but to my knowledge, ADAC asks questions and it's off of self-report.
And there was some talk about Mr. Escobedo oftentimes missing some visits due to health concerns. Were there also times that he asked to do virtual visits because of health concerns?
Yes, ma'am, that is correct.
Would you agree with
Okay.
me that you can't phone in being a parent?
Yes, ma'am.
Pass the witness.
Ms. Martinez, questions?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Mendoza, any questions?
Very briefly, Your Honor. Ms. Malatek, you said that you spoke to Mr. Escobedo's parole officer. When was that? When was the last time?
The last time I was able to get in contact with her was the end of January. I had reached out here recently as well too, but was not able to get in contact with her.
Not good, not good.
Okay. And are you aware of what programs Mr. Escobedo is working through the parole?
The last one that I was aware of was Alpha Recovery. I am not aware of any others at this time.
And are you aware of whether he is drug tested through parole?
He had reported previously that he was, but I have not been able to receive any further information.
He's in compliance. They got that. They'll handle that.
To address any current drug tests from him, so I'm unsure.
And you mentioned that you, the department had concerns with Ms. Saldivar's medical issues. Were those concerns resolved with the letters, the several letters that she provided the department?
The letter did help to assist in resolving that issue by the doctor addressing that it should not impair her to care for the child. It would just be something the department would like to continue her to, for her to continue getting her recommended treatment so that it would not be a barrier.
Definitely.
Okay, and as far as the driver's license concern, you said that she provided the names of people that could provide transportation, is that right?
Yes, ma'am, she did.
Okay, so she could possibly make arrangements to get Giovanni transported to wherever he needs to be via those people, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And regarding her criminal history, you mentioned it's a public lewdness charge. That charge is from 2015, is that correct?
I do believe so, yes, ma'am.
Wow.
Regarding her concern, the concern about her not having sufficient income, there are resources available that she could apply to supplement her income, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, I do believe so.
And in regards to frequent visitors, just because Mr. Stephen Moran Escobedo was there on one occasion does not mean that he was a frequent visitor, does it?
No, ma'am, it does not necessarily mean that he was a.
So where'd you get that shit from? Okay? You know. I mean, what are we talking about?
Frequent visitor, but there were inconsistencies with previously reporting that he is a frequent visitor and also that they just talk daily and have phone conversations. So
Okay, so you're throwing yourself under the bus. You got to remember everything you talk to these people about. Okay?
was unable to be fully assessed.
And her brother being there again on one occasion does not mean that he's a frequent visitor. Is that right?
It does not necessarily mean he is. When we spoke to him, he did state that he does come and visit the home, and that is why he was there, was because he was visiting. And then when spoken with Miss Saldivar, she stated that he does not frequent the home. So there was a bit of inconsistency as far as what information was provided.
Right, and they're going to chop it up and get everything. And hey, man, this is Dr. Hood. You know, I just want to give you that good. We're going to do a part 3. We're going to do a part 3, and then we're going to be out of here. We might even skip a little bit just to dig up in there. I'm really not trying to get all the particulars. I just want y'all to see the type of stuff that's going on, the type of back and forth that's going on, and you got kids involved, okay? And a lot of times we hear that it's bad dads and, you know, these mothers, and, you know, there's a lot of cases, these mothers, and, you know, I mean, hey, I can't sit up here and take care of my kids every day and then champion somebody that doesn't. You know, I'm not gonna do it. You know, I'll let y'all do that. You guys could do that. I'm not gonna do it, man. You guys stay safe out there. Dr. Hood, I'm out.